Hello, video time. So I've been keen to talk to you about hopes and fears, and this kind of carries on from last week's habits and goals. And this is coming from my experience of working with people over the last 12, 13 years of doing PT, and some things that I pick up on from clients and people that attend classes. So fear, what is fear? So fear really is an emotion. It's a warning sign of danger or harm or failure. And it can either be physical or psychological, can't it? So, if you've got strong signals of response to a situation, then that could be classed as fear. Fear is fear, it's anxiety, it's doubt, it's unease, it's a number of feelings. And for some people it can be quite mild, for others it can be a bit more severe. It can be something that kind of almost overwhelms their life. And it's about the what ifs, isn't it? So, if you've got a situation where you're in doubt of something that might happen, then that powerful emotion of fear can come in and it can, it can change how you look at the situation. There's a threat, there's a potential of something going wrong. It can be non-physical, it can be just the thought of something really, really simple. Best analogy I can give you, for me, I enter a race. As soon as I enter the race, I get a bit of anxiety, I get a bit of, but what if I can't do it? What if I'm not able to do it at the performance that I think I'm able to do? What if something happens on the day? What if the weather's bad? There's all these what ifs and what potential situations I can find myself in. But does that stop me entering it? No, because I can manage the process. But for others, and I've said this all along, all the things that I do, people say, I don't know how you do this. It's because I manage the fear, but I have the fear. Other people aren't able to manage that fear. Some people it can last a short time. Some people can live them for their entire life. Some people are overwhelmed with fear all the time, and those people are the people that it's not negative, but those people are people around every day, with their routine. They stay within their routine, so they don't want to change that routine. They don't want to necessarily create a new habit or set a goal, because there's that fear, isn't there, all the time. Making a decision, taking part in an exercise class, having a new job, doing some public speaking, an exam, a test, all these things are all scenarios, they're all examples of what fear can cause. And this day and age we use the word anxiety a lot, and anxiety is the same thing. It's a fear of something potentially that's going to happen that creates negative effects. There's a lot of negativity in this particular subject. How can we avoid it? Well, you can avoid situations that scare you, that stop you doing what you're potentially doing. If there's something you want or need to do, but fear stops you doing it, then you don't do it. So therefore you almost don't experience the fear, if that makes sense. So you subconsciously move the whole scenario aside. Exercise class is a classic. I honestly, if I had £1 for every time somebody either came to a class, said they loved it, they'd come back, or somebody that said, I'm definitely going to come to your class, but never do. And it's because of fear, isn't it? It's because they're afraid of turning up to a class where there's more able people. It's turning up to a class and not being able to deliver what is prescribed. There's the turning up to a class and feeling uncomfortable. Whatever uncomfortable is to you or to I is different. There's actually it's much more comfortable for me to stay at home, so I'll go next week, or I'll go the week after, or I'll go the week after. That happens a lot. So fear is stopping you doing something you should, need, or questionably want to do. So if you've created a habit, if you're trying to create a habit, this is something that you need to do, but the fear is stopping you doing that. To avoid that, exercise regularly, requires concentration. You need to concentrate on making a plan to exercise or to exercise. If you're watching this video now, you're thinking about fears, because I've mentioned it, but you're concentrating on the video. So you're not afraid of sitting there listening to me. You might be afraid of me flagging something up that you subconsciously stops you doing what you should be doing. Healthy diet, the regularity of doing something, experiencing something. So if I have a fear of a race, race and not finishing that race, or not doing that race within a specific time, then I could not enter that race. If I don't enter that race, I can't ever deal with that fear. I can't overcome that fear. I can't run that race, finish that race at a set time, and walk away and say, do you know what, I was a bit fearful of that, but actually in the end it was all right. How many times have you done something where somebody asks you to do something that you know that you're afraid of, or you've got some anxious feelings, or you've got anxiety over that particular situation, and at the end of it, somebody says to you, that was all right, wasn't it? What were you worried about? How many times that happened? All the time. Driving test, classic. Oh, I'm petrified. Why? It's just a driving test. It doesn't matter if you take it 30 times. But that pressure, that pressure of other people doing better than you potentially on that day, you're not going to not take your driving test. I mean, it might be for some of you, but most of you will still take it. You want to get it over and done with as quickly as possible. When you finished it, big deep, so like sigh, isn't it? So, oh, thank God for that, it's over. Because you've taken all that anxiety, all that fear, and you've dealt with it, put it up in a ball, and you've dealt with it. It's gone, yeah? We go back to our ordinary feelings, ordinary life. So doing exercise, which is the point of this, because that's what I do every day. Okay, this is a life skill, but it's to do with exercise, is to help some of you address that issue and turn up and do some exercise, do some classes. If you're going around every day fearing many things, or you have anxiety over many things, you'd often deal with that, I guess. But it's the subconscious, it's the small things you don't really categorize as being a fear. Most of you just say, do you know what, I can't be bothered. I don't know how many times I have to say to people on a regular basis, you need to exercise. Exercise is a big word, yeah? It can be go out and walk the dog for 20 minutes, or it could be turn up and do an online class. It doesn't have to be with me. This isn't about you training with me. It's about you making the decision to go and do something that is good for you. Nobody has ever, I think I said this last week, nobody has ever done exercise for an hour, gone for a run, and afterwards said, I hated every minute of that, I regretted that, it was the worst thing I've ever done, never doing it again. You know, all those kind of things you would imagine people might come out with. Everyone's always pleased they've done it. So that's the fear side of it. We could talk about it for hours, but I'm going to try and keep this short today. 8 minutes, pretty good. Hope. Okay, so hopes and fears is the topic today. So hope. What is hope? Well, it's a feeling of expectation. It's a desire of an outcome. It's hope is based on your experience and your knowledge. So if I sit there and use the same analogy of a race, I'm fearful of the outcome. I'm fearful of not finishing. Blah 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 blah. Well, my hope is, I hope that the race goes well. I hope my strategy goes well. I hope that I finish the race. I hope I finish in this time. You're going through the same channel of thought process, but one is a very negative pattern, one is a very positive pattern. Hope is about positive. It's it's an optimistic state of mind, isn't it? You are leveling your expectation. You are preparing for the best. You've heard the expression, haven't you? Yeah, hope for the best, plan for the worst. If you hope for the best, I used to work in sales, and my sales manager, when I very first started, say, you don't get good luck, you make good luck. And what he meant by that is, with a positive frame of mind, generally you can make things happen for you by having the right decision-making process, the right emotion, speaking to the right people, ticking the T's dotting the I's and crossing the T's, ticking the boxes. Make stuff happen. If you go out of the door every day with some optimism, with some positivity, with some, I don't care about what other people are doing. I don't care that Dave down the road does 6 exercise classes a week and runs 20 miles at the weekend. It's not about being competitive. It's about you quantifying what you need to do every day. The positive impact on life from having a hope. It's a positive cognitive state to have that glass half full thing all day long, to have that hope all day long. You look out the window and somebody might say, oh, it's going to rain all day. Well, okay, that's quite negative. How about, looks like it might rain all day, but I hope it stops raining later. I hope it stops raining now. I need to go out and run in a minute. Back to exercise class. I'm fearful of going because X, Y, and Z, But actually, I hope, I'm going to go, or I'm going to log on to Zoom, and I hope I enjoy it. If I don't enjoy it, I can log off at any time. I'm not handcuffed to it. If I turn up and do an exercise class, I hope it's good fun. I hope the guy that takes it, or the girl that takes it, is good fun and takes into account that I'm new and that I get introduced to everybody and all these sort of things. Having a bit of determination and a bit of planning, creating a habit, having a set goal. I'm trying to break this down. This is everyday stuff, but I think you have to look at it, that there is just that need to have just that little bit of hope, okay? Hopes and fears. Hope is positive, fear is negative. And we're all going to have fears, that little bit of adrenaline rush. I get it all day, every day. You get it in situations you don't realise. Some of you might hope that you're walking around Tesco's with a basket full of chocolate and bottles of red wine, whatever it is. And you might hope that you don't see your PT, or you might fear that you see your PT. Well, the fear of seeing your PT may stop you going in the shop and buying it. The hope that you don't see your PT is, I'm going to buy it. If I see him, I see him. I'm just going to manage that process. Yeah, it's a small thing. It's a very, very small thing, but it's a way to concentrate on your state of mind. Okay. Whilst we're on the subject of hopes and fears and managing that process, DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, big issue for me on this one. Many of you that are new come to classes. You do a class, you do the first class, you ache for 2-3 days, you think that's the most horrendous experience in your life, and you don't go back and rejoin or continue or do it again. I want you to understand what DOMS is. Delayed onset muscle soreness. When you start a new exercise regime, when you change your exercise regime, when you increase the intensity or the time of your exercise regime, you will get micro tears in the muscle, which will leave you feeling sore for 3 to 5 days, usually 48 hours, and then it starts to dissipate. Okay, it's a normal thing. You're not injured. It's a normal thing. I get DOMS if I change my training. If I go out and do a slightly longer run, or I go out and run a bit harder, I get that feeling. DOMS is a sign of progression. Okay, if you ache, you've worked the muscle now needs to rebuild. It will then get stronger. It will burn more calories. You'll burn more fat. It's a positive experience from exercise. Yeah, I joke with my guys, doing exercise and getting achy from it. And I'll always ask people, I'll say, how did you feel after Thursday? How did you feel after Tuesday? How do you feel after Monday? It's because it's the gift that keeps giving. Yeah, you're experiencing that feeling of, do you know what? Oh God, that's a bit tight. I mean, yeah, I've had it from being on a fairground ride, or being on a go-kart, or working in the garden all day. You go, oh God, my back's sore. Oh God, does it put you off doing it again? Not really, because the objective is that you're getting fitter. If you get a sign of something that tells you you're getting fitter, then surely that's enough to motivate you to keep doing it. If you attend an exercise class and you ache a bit for 2 days, and then you say, I'm not doing that ever again, that whole experience has been a fearful, negative experience, which will cause you to not do something that you want or need to continue to do. My spin class, not running at the moment, okay? It's in a dark room, it's intense, it gets hot, it gets sweaty, your legs might ache, your backside might ache from sitting on the saddle, because you're not used to it. But it will get easier, because people are doing it on a daily basis, day in, day out. And those people are doing better than you because they're managing that fear and that anxiety. Nothing is forever. It's a short-term byproduct of getting fitter. So please, if you've turned up to an exercise class, or you've done a session at home, unless you get a stabbing, snapping, sharp pain where someone feels like they've stabbed you or shot you in the leg, where you've possibly caused some trauma to some of your connective tissue or your muscle, if it's a dull ache, like a bruise, punch yourself on the arm, don't. 2-3 days later, you get a slight bruising. That's the same. That's how your body responds to changes in the physical nature of your body. So if you get aches, celebrate it. Yeah, do an exercise class. I hope I don't ache, rather than, oh God, I'm really afraid that I'm going to ache. Some people suck that out of it, and they're like, yeah, I really want to hurt me when I ache. I don't personally. And if you turn up to a class and I say to you, work at your own ability, yeah? If I've got a class of 8 to 10 people that have worked with me for the last 7, 8 years, and I know they can do 30 squats, 30 lunges, jump backs, whatever it may be, and you're new, and I say to you, just go at your own ability, do half the set, go where you're comfortable, manage it, then it's down to you to do that, okay? People say, oh, that class is too hard, that class is too easy. No, it's not. It's down to what you can do. I'm never going to take a room full of people that are regular trainers of me, and I'm going to say, right, let's just start with 5 push-ups, hypothetically. And just for the new people, we'll have a 10-minute recovery, and then we'll do some jumping jacks, and then we'll walk around the room a little bit, and everybody will just keep going until the new people are at your level. But we don't want them to 8 because they won't come back. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I'll work the class to the ability of those that are still needing to progress. The lower of the abilities, just do less. You just pace it. You just do half of the reps, or you take more of a breather. It's easier for it to manage that way. So if you've turned up to my class in the past, or any other classes, and you've gone, oh God, it really hurt. Good, it's supposed to. All right, take care. I'm going to continue to do some videos. If there's something you'd like me to talk about, sing out. I've got lots of time on my hands at the moment. I've got some time during the day. It's interesting. It's kind of like homeschooling you. All right. Those that are doing a quiz on Thursday, I hope you listen to a lot of this. Anybody that's not done a quiz on Thursday, online, Zoom, an hour, 20 questions in between doing fun exercise. We have a laugh. Sometimes you ache a little bit. The fear is that it might be horrible, but the hope is actually it's going to be loads of fun and somebody wins a speedboat every week. All right. Take care. Have a good day. Thanks very much. If you need to know anything more than that, please drop me a line. Okay. Take care. Thanks very much. Bye bye.